Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 428 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's nice to connect with like-minded people, don't you think? And we get to do it twice a week, which is pretty awesome, if you ask me. All right, so I don't know if you've gotten this from my previous episodes, but I'm not a big fan of organized religion. I've seen too many evil things done in the name of religion. And I've seen too many families ripped apart in the name of religion. But here's my dilemma. And you may have this same dilemma. People who have faith in a higher power of some sort, whatever that is, in my opinion, tend to be more at ease with life. They have families that have values and standards. Not always, but a lot of times when you see a family that's thriving, they have some belief in God or faith in something bigger than themselves. Now, I don't usually discuss religion or politics because both of them can be so divisive. I was with my friend Lena the other day, and we were talking about how to pronounce that word. I've heard it as divisive, but also divisive, so we figured it out because Google will tell you exactly how to pronounce it. So, divisive. Religion and politics, they can be. But you don't have to be part of an organized religion to understand that there's something bigger than us that's looking out for us, that's guiding us if we're open to listen to it. So growing up, religion to me was like trying to follow somebody else's strict rules, or else you'd be expelled from everything you know and love. In religion, a lot of times people are ruled by fear. God's love and willingness to hear our prayers is conditional based on if you follow the rules that men created. And something felt really off about that from a very young age for me. So as I got older, I wanted really nothing to do with any religion. I know enough about life, though, to know not to push against it, but to simply acknowledge how I feel about it without any judgment. Now, maybe you have similar thoughts about religion. Maybe you don't think about it at all. Or maybe you're part of a religion and love it. If you grew up in America, especially in the South, you probably have been involved or around some sort of religion. And like me, you may be a little confused as to the role that it should play in your life. You see, for me, no matter how I feel about organized religion, I could not deny ever that I have felt guided in some way, that there was someone always looking out for me my whole life. Always. Even in my hardest times, I felt guided in a way that sometimes I didn't realize it at the time, but later I look back and I thought, wow, there has to be some higher power looking out for me, because that could have been a lot worse. Have you ever thought that or felt that? My point, though, is really just to remind us, all of us, that religion or no religion, each one of us is loved beyond what we can even imagine. And each of us is worthy beyond what we know. And that being that's guiding us, whether you want to call it God or the universe or whatever it is to you, it's real and it's available 100% of the time. It isn't separate from us ever, and it connects each one of us together. Now, when Tony Robbins, I love him. I have been to so many of his seminars. But in one of his seminars, in lots of his seminars actually, he would seemingly implore us to understand that everything we need is inside us right now. He was so passionate that we each have the ability to feel loved and worthy and whole without anything outside of us needing to change. Now, I was very confused by that because I didn't feel that way. I felt like I think a lot of people do, that if only my parents were proud of me, then I could feel worthy. Or if only I had a loving partner, then I would feel loved. Or if only I had $1 million, then I would feel wealthy. Or if only I was loved unconditionally by someone else, I would feel like I truly belong. I mean, that's the way, right? But I was so confused by religion and how I was taught that basically you're not worthy or unconditionally loved unless you're part of the religion and following all the rules, which means I never felt worthy because I had a fire inside of me that needed oxygen to burn. And I felt suffocated inside that religion. I felt suffocated by the limitations and the judgments and the man-made rules. So when Tony Robbins, someone I respected and revered, said I was worthy regardless and that everything I needed was inside me right now, it confused me so much. It confused me even more because I didn't feel that way. Like I was so brainwashed into thinking that the only way to everlasting life and true happiness was following that religion. But in reality, that religion was killing me inside. It was snuffing out any ability to think for myself, any ability to follow my own internal guidance that we're all born with. It was snuffing that out because in order to have total control, the powers to be in that religion have to control you. You, of course, cannot control yourself because now you're out of their grip. So my journey to feel whole and loved and worthy in an unconditional way has taken a very long time. My journey to understanding and really believing what Tony Robbins meant, that everything I need is within me right now, has taken a long time. But I finally get it. We all were born with an inner guidance system that's connected to a higher power. Now, some religions help you remember that connections. There are good ones out there. I know there are, but others may snuff it out completely. My guess is if you're listening to me, you're on a journey just like me to understand how to be the best version of you possible. And I've got to tell you, the best version of you is not going to be found living by someone else's rules. It's not going to be found by ignoring your own personal inner guidance system. You can call it intuition, whatever, but it's not going to be found by ignoring your desires to please other people or by pleasing other people. That's not how it's going to be found. There are a gazillion ways to find it, and some do find it in religion. Of course, it's not all bad, like I said. But what I want everyone to hear and to know is there's no other one human on this earth that knows better what you need than you, as long as you're an adult. Sometimes kids, we got to help them out. But your inner guidance system, it's always on point, always loving you, always connected to a higher power. When you feel worthy, there's no greater feeling. We feel worthy to just take up space, worthy to actually be happy. Some of us struggle with that. Or worthy to have as much money as you want without feeling guilty about it. How about worthy to be in any room and know you're loved because you are? And also worthy enough to know that life is always working in your favor, even when at the moment you're like, what the heck when something happens? Even in those hard moments, it's still working in your favor. So I guess my whole point is, even if you've been disappointed by some organized religion, you don't have to give up and feel like you're alone in this world. You never are, and you never will be. And if you feel that you are, it's just because maybe like me, your inner guidance system was almost drowned out. In the end, as Muji has shared with me, the thing that we are meant to know is that we're here to walk in the light of our own understanding. You aren't dependent on someone else for your salvation, no matter how much religion wants you to believe that. You're responsible for you, and you're answerable to you. You're the ones that lives the consequences of your life. This is the truth of life. And if a religion feels good and feels right and lights up your meaningful path, then that's a beautiful thing. But if it doesn't, then ask for another way, and it will be given to you as long as you're open to see it. This I know to be true because I've experienced it through years of daily meditation and awareness. I'm never going to be perfect at it, but that's okay because that means continuous growth and learning, which is exactly what I want. My challenge to you today is to trust your inner guidance system more than you trust anything else. But in order to do that, you have to hear it, which means you have to quiet the thoughts that drown it out. And you have to give yourself a little downtime from the things that keep your mind occupied, whatever that is. I do it through meditation in the mornings. You may do it by walking in nature alone, or even some movement like swimming, which I've recently started, where you're just completely, you're working and you don't have anything in your head and your ears listening to anything. You can listen to yourself. Somewhere where you can basically quiet your mind and just be in your own light. Eventually, you'll find that you're calmer throughout the day, you're less bothered by things you don't control, and you're a lot less inclined to look outward to feel worthy and loved. Everything you need for that is truly inside you right now. It feels good to say that and believe it. Share this with 3 amazing friends or family. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.